Nigeria politics just became so interesting overnight because this Jonathan matter people are joking about. It's actually deeper than it looks. A man who already left power peacefully, jejely in 2015, and something that almost no African president willingly did at that time. And, it's suddenly been dragged back into political conversation again. And they are not even quiet about it. They are so, so loud. Youth groups are literally marching to his office, begging him to come back and save Nigeria. You see, that alone should tell you and I something. And it should tell us that this is no longer normal opposition politics. And this is what I call desperation politics. Yes, it's desperation politics because Jonathan didn't say yes, but he also didn't shut it down. Yes. Instead, what he did was that he gave one of those classic Nigerian political answers. He just said, I've heard you. I will consult widely. And that's a simple sentence, right? But politically, that sentence shook the table. And let me explain. Because in Nigerian politics, when a former president says I'll consult, it usually means door are opening, like allied conversations are happening, and people are testing the waters quietly. This is the parts that most people missed. You see, Jonathan met Tinubu at Aso the day before all this happened. Don't let me call it noise. You see, that timing is what is making political people so suspicious about all these things. Because you start asking yourself, was this an entire thing spontaneous, or was the stage already being prepared, you know, behind the scene? And honestly, that's that's where the real gist starts. Because you see, right now, um, the opposition has finally started trying to unite around Peter Obi, and you have Obi people talking with Kwakwanso loyalists, some Atiku supporters are already, drifting towards coalition talks. All these coalition talks are all around from NDC and ADC. But for the first time since 2023, there's a possibility, even if it is small, that opposition will stop scattering votes and actually face APC with one serious structure. They are talking about Jonathan. Because if Jonathan enters, everything changes immediately. Because Jonathan doesn't really damage Tinubu's first, What he does is it damages Peter Obi first. Yes. And that's uncomfortable truths many people don't want to say openly. And if you ask me why, I will tell you why. Because Jonathan and Obi would be fishing from almost the same emotional voters pool. Do you get what I'm saying? Also, Southern voters, Christian voters, frustrated youths, the anti APC voters, all of them, the Niger Delta sympathy, the middle class, the list is enormous. The middle class, better days, the nostalgia voters, all of this, both Obi and Jonathan will share it. So if Jonathan enters the race, the opposition starts splitting itself again. And once opposition vote splits in Nigeria, you know what happens? The ruling party usually smiles quietly because it favors them. And that's why some people are already asking, wait, is Jonathan genuinely coming back? Or is he being pulled into the game to destabilize the opposition? Hmm. Because now I'm not saying that's true, right? I'm not saying that's true, but politically, the question itself is dangerous enough. So, especially after Jonathan had the meeting with Tinubu, and then there is another problem, which happens to be the constitution matter. Some some lawyers are already in courts arguing that and President Jonathan cannot run again because technically he already completed Yaradwa's tenure and then serve his own full term. And you still have some others are saying that the constitutional amendment cannot be applied backwards. So you see, legally, this thing is so messy, and it's messy already because even if Jonathan eventually runs, every campaign debate will become, is he even eligible? Can the Supreme Court stop him later? Will votes be wasted on will votes be wasted on court cases? You see, that that uncertainties alone weakens Jonathan's momentum. And bro, timing matters in politics. Yes, time is a lot. And now let us think about the emotional side of this old Jonathan thing too, because a lot of Nigerians actually remember Jonathan more softly now than when he was in power, right? And this is the reason why, because hardship changes political memory. People compare a lot of things. They compare fuel prices then and fuel price now. They compare the dollar rate then and dollar rate now. They compare a lot of things. They compare food prices then and food, food prices now. And even they compare the political tension then and now. So nostalgia is entering the conversation so heavily. And that is why the youth groups marching to his office looked almost emotional, like people searching for stability. But you see, here is the irony. The same Jonathan comeback that excites some Nigerians would completely destroy opposition's unity. And that's the paradox. And you see, the ABC strategists understand this so well because the biggest advantage APC had since 2023 is not necessarily overwhelming popularity. Yes, what they benefited is, opposition confusion because too many candidates, too many egos, too many structures, too many saviors. So now imagine if Obi runs, Jonathan runs, maybe Atiku still influences the northern blocks, and smaller coalition merge as well. So what happened is suddenly the opposition mathematics becomes chaotic again, and chaos usually benefits incumbents. I always say this in my videos if you watch, and that is why this story is bigger than Jonathan may run, because the real story is who benefits if Jonathan runs, and that is the question that is sitting beneath. That is because that's the question that is sitting underneath everything right now. And online, you can already see the camps forming. Some people are excited, some are not. They're excited that Jeg was treated, unfairly. Nigeria was calmer under Jonathan, So they are shouting, bring him back. And others are angry that this is how they want to weaken Peter Obi's chances. You know, opposition sabotage has started again. Then there is this third group that are watching this development so quietly, and this group are the lawyers, the analysts, the political insiders, and Nigerians in diaspora, and also the let me say the educated swing voters. Yes, they are watching the development, and those ones are not asking, can Jonathan win? The thing they are asking is so simple, and that they're asking, why now? Who arranged this timing? Why the Aso Rock meeting first? Like, what conversations are happening behind the closed doors that we don't know? And you see, honestly, these questions are very important, and they are asking the right question. And and those are probably the smartest question anybody can ask right now, because Nigerian politics is rarely about what is happening publicly. The real game is usually happening underneath. Yeah, it's usually happening on the alliances, the negotiations, the ego management, the regional calculations. What again can I put? The allied survival strategies. They happen underneath, and that's where elections are really shaped. That's where elections are won, to be honest. And the crazy part is that Jonathan may never even contest for this election. That's so possible. He may not contest. And he could simply become a kingmaker. And if that happens, his endorsement alone could shift millions of votes emotionally, especially in the South South. And that will not even favor Peter Obi or his coalition. So, whether he runs or not, he has already entered the chessboard. Yeah, he has already entered the chessboard automatically. And that is the key thing people should understand, that Jonathan is now a key player in 2027 election. And once Jonathan enters, the conversation, the entire 2027 calculation changed instantly. Yeah, because APC, oh, they are recalculating, and obese coalition people, they are so nervous. Yeah, and Atiku's camp is watching, carefully. They are watching closely, and the more all this is happening, Nigerian voters too, they are what? They are getting super confused, because the election hasn't officially started, but psychologically, the battle for 2027 election may have already begun the moment Jonathan walked into the Aso Rock. I don't know, maybe I'm making sense, but that is my own analysis about this Jonathan entering or Jonathan leaving. So I want to know your view in the comment section. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And